Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Yashyuan. I'm currently a PhD student at Asia University in Taiwan. Today, I am going to talk about my paper called A Systematic Review of Design Factors Affecting the Consumer Behavior. Now, by looking at the title of my paper, you can probably guess which field of study I'm in. Yes, my field of study is about the business side of design, how design affects the consumer behaviors and overall effect of design in our daily lives. So let's take a look at my research. First of all, in the research, we used a systematic review system to gather information and collect data. And then later on in my presentation, I will talk about the methodology and the findings, and of course, the conclusions that we found from doing this research. Now, there are three primary things that we found in this research. One is the importance of product design and its relation to its consumers. The second is the eco-friendly packaging, how packaging affects consumers' behavior, and also the product labels. When people see product labels, how does the content of the product labels vary the perception of the consumers? Okay. So let's take a look at the research methods. So a systematic research was performed in Scopus, ProQuest, and ACM Digital Library from the year 2013, January to December 2023. We used the tool EndNote to collect the data we needed. The keywords used were keywords primarily three. One is called visual design, packaging, and the third is called consumer behavior. These were the three keywords used to define the categories for our data collection. This research is based only on peer-reviewed academic articles, which means books, reports, or other non-academic sources were not used. And also the research is based on English articles in particular. So in articles related in other languages did not include in our research. So as we started this meta-analysis, we had a preliminary result of 5,290 articles. And through the keywords, these articles were identified by the system. However, 4,191 articles were from Scopus, 99 articles from ProQuest, and 1,000 articles from ACM Digital Library. The full text, after elimination and things, the full text of 310 articles were reviewed and excluded from the study due to its irrelevance to the study. The irrelevance could be because of the keyword match. It did not match the keyword for our research. So after a forward and backward reference search was conducted, we ended up with only 18 remaining articles that were connected to our research. And as you can see in the paper, a prisma diagram was made to show the results. So in the discussion part of the paper, we found that consumer behavior is affected by the design factors of products in two aspects in particular. One is that clear labeling of the content of a product is important for consumers. Secondly, the packaging materials used for the product will also affect purchase intention. Now, in the research can be divided into 4 different sections. For table 1, it recognizes the 18 articles and specifically specify what each article is about and the keywords of each article. In table 2, it states the characteristics of selected studies and found the correlation between packaging material and consumer behavior. In Table 3, it recognizes the design elements of products. And number 4, focus on the effects of labels on food packaging in particular. So as a result, we found that in Table 1, we can see many different characteristics. And one characteristic in particular was that food packaging has a big influence on consumer demand. Okay, and then in Table 2, it's proven that actually single people are more likely to purchase eco-friendly products, especially the Generation Zs. They exhibit high preferences for eco-friendly packaging. And in Table 3, from 1 out of 7 studies related to design factors, one study representing 14.3% of the total research implied that typeface on food products can influence consumer purchase intention. What I mean by typeface is the lettering on the packaging. It actually affects how people choose or make their purchase options. In Table 4, 2 of the 8 studies indicated that older people actually determine the products depending on the text on the food labels, and that people primarily are influenced by the perceived benefits related to health, nutrition, and taste. So, as conclusion, the systematic review highlights the significant influence of design factors on consumer behavior. So we hope the study provides guidelines and identify key design factors that can influence consumer behavior. So in return, that we hope that our findings will assist other designers in future planning and designing of new products and package in the future of design. That is our presentation. Thank you very much.